Well, hello everyone. Here right here of talking about understanding about what does it usually mean when we say it depends on something. A lot of times, everybody would say is toward it. Yeah, I know exactly what it means. That means is toward it. The answer could go either way, or could it possibly also mean is toward it? Yeah, that in case if anybody's wondering that they are pretty much saying is toward it. Yeah, that whenever you do answer a question to anybody asking you a question, no, and a lot of times it sure seems that way that what you're basically are saying is toward that there is no clear exclamation whenever it comes to understanding something. And I just really think that that's really what it means right here. When we do say that this depends. If somebody asks you a question, and a lot of times they say is toward that it all depends, and really it is that depends really supposed to be an answer. Is it really supposed to be an answer? People might say that, well, it could either go both ways or it can go either way, but still, I think that everybody would say that you use the word depends, just because that yeah, that based on the question, from what you had is toward it, yeah, that how do you really answer toward it? It all depends. Well, I think what they're trying to say is toward it, really, that are you trying to say that there is no clear explanation toward that I cannot explain very clearly of what the situation is or whichever, but still you want to kind of call it maybe the golden rule or whichever it is, but still that every time you do think about that and you're warned toward it, what is this person trying to say whenever they say that it all depends? Well, I think what they're trying to say is toward it, yeah, that your experience could be different than, like, yeah, you're talking about the directions whenever it comes to a direction, yeah, the directions, the instructions toward how to do something and try to understand something. That direct, yeah, a direction. So, in case of anybody's wondering toward it, what does it usually mean whenever if you give somebody directions, then yeah, directions that need to be followed in a particular order. That what exactly is it that do you think that maybe somebody's trying to say? That means is toward it your experience could be different than the other, just because that yeah, it can go either way, or yeah, that yeah, that anything that you're going to be talking about really whenever it comes to taking care of something, or maybe whenever it comes to doing any sorts of task or agendas or of any kind. But let's just say that in case if anybody were to ask you as to where if you're going to be listening and watching, listening to the radio, and let's just say that if they do tell you that go to our website and enter this code right here, or yeah, go to the website and fill out the form that you see right here, or something like that, and you always wonder toward that yeah, that if somebody were to ask you a question and you will reply toward that this all depends, what exactly is it that they're saying? Well, you don't really know exactly. Are you understanding what they're saying? Or are you pretty much saying is toward, really, you don't really want to give out too much information. And I really think that that's what it is, everybody. That what this person is trying to say is that they don't want to give out too much information. So they're going to reply saying toward it, yeah, this all depends right here. So yeah, we don't want to give out too much information. So really, that when we do speak about too much information here, and you're warned toward it, yeah, we don't want to give out too much information right here. well, we don't want, we don't want to give out too much information right here. So what we're going to say is that, this all depends right here. So you have right here of talking about that listen, watch, and interact right here. But still, what do you think that people are saying whenever they reply to a question toward it? This all depends right here. Yeah, it all depends. And your thinking is toward it. No straight exclamation direction is toward it. Not too much information right here. So it sure seems that way that if somebody were to ask the question toward it, when, if I do order, then when's it going to be delivered? Or that, okay, well, what do I need to do from here if I do get that, if I can read the text message or something like that, or if I can read the wedding ticket or something like that. And so, really, so in case if we're wondering toward it, no straight exclamation direction right here. So every time you do 102 is toward it, it all depends. I guess in case if we're all wondering is toward it, could that also mean is toward it no clear answer, no direct clear answer, no clear explanation, no clear answer, but it depends. So really that you begin to wonder toward it that whenever you do think about that and you're wondering toward it, what exactly is it that you're trying to say whenever you say it all depends? And in case if we're all wondering toward it, what does depends even mean? That means as to where, why can't it mean to where that you can explain in just maybe a few short characters or so of what you're trying to say? And, in case if anybody's wondering to where that, do you think that maybe depends also means as to where that you're supposed to include a question mark in your sentence right here? Anywhere where you go by as to where you start talking about something, you include something like maybe a verb or a noun, or maybe paraphrase something. Is this to where you start talking about something, but then you're supposed to include maybe a direct sentence and also something that gives you a clue about what the next adjective is. So it's almost like you start a conversation before somebody else joins that chat, before somebody else joins the conversation, and it goes on and on, right? So each time you do think about that and you're warned toward it, it all depends. So it's like, so every time you do think about that, what do you think that, that somebody is trying to say? Well, what they're trying to say is that there's really no clear explanation about what is it, what information needs to be provided. So just to make the long story short, not too much information could be provided at this time. No clear answer. So really or like everybody might say that I don't want to talk about it right now, or something like that. But like everybody might say that really, what does it all depends really even mean? And I think everybody would, based on my experience, it pretty much means as to where that, there's really no clear explanation to where that, if you're trying to give somebody directions on how to do something, then you're not going to say something like, just click the button and it will work. Just press the, just press here or something like, just press the button or something like that. Just press right here and it will work just fine. Or just sign here or something like that. I think everybody might say that, just sign here. Just sign here. Just sign here. That's usually what you see right there is that, just sign here. And, that's usually the answer that you get, like in case if anybody's wondering it, that whenever it comes to understanding something and something simple, something to, no, you don't have to read no 4 pages or something like that of of instruction manual or whichever. You don't have to read all that paperwork, but just sign here. And so really, that when we do talk about it all depends, then do you think maybe anybody might even say that what you're trying to say is that you're trying to make the long story short? You're trying to make the long story short by saying it all depends. There is really no clear answer, and we can't give out too much information. But please check back or something like that, or you may ask again. And so that's why it seems that way. That whenever we talk about listen, watch, and interact right here, and if you want to abbreviate that to the LWI right here or something like that, and it's like, yeah, dancing right here. So every time you turn into the radio, every time you do tune into the radio, that you may ask these questions to where that if you do win, then you can explain. But still, that you begin to wonder to where that we all say that it all depends on a lot of things. We all say that this depends and that depends, but what are we trying to say? Well, what we're trying to say is that I don't think that you really are going to understand the whole situation if I say something now about that or something like that. So I think that in case if anybody's wondering that whenever you do say that this all depends, I think what you're trying to say is that there's really no direct explanation about that or something like that. Just to make it a little bit more simple and just to make it a little bit more understanding and simple, that you're going to say that this depends right here. So if that's really a clear answer, and I think everybody might even agree that that is really no clear answer. That is not a clear answer because or that depends. And so that's why it seems that way toward it. What do you think that maybe that somebody should respond to that? And you probably say this toward it, yeah, well, you can maybe respond toward it, yeah, that me, that was me earlier. Yeah, that was me earlier. And what do you have to say about that? Well, yeah, I took care of it myself. Yeah, I took care of it myself. I think everybody might even say that whenever you do listen to the radio, by the way, that that's the first thing that's maybe going to come to your mind is that a lot of kids out there might even say that whenever you do listen to the radio, by the way, or anything that you're going to be doing, that you would like to know that what can you really do yourself, and knowing, okay, if you can figure out something, how something works, right? Yeah, it all depends, but myself, if you want to start out the sentence by saying myself, me, myself, okay, yeah, you'll know when it's here or something like, yeah, you look at an advertisement right here, and let's just say that if you were to put that right there as to where the, yeah, me, myself right here, yeah, if you were to respond to any text or something like that, and what are the hashtags that you would really want to use whenever it comes to you answering a question or something like that? Something to make you feel a little bit more comfortable with responding to or interacting with. And like, yeah, I took care of that or something like that. And, yeah, I took care of it myself. So, yeah, so every time you see a sentence maybe like this, and like everybody might say that, yeah, do you expect anybody really to understand this right here? If you read this right here, it says, yeah, me, this is me talking. I took care of that myself or something like that. So every time you do think about that and you're warned toward it, that's not the type of, that's not the type of the actual English language that you're used to. And in case if anybody's wondering that every time you do think about that and you're warned toward it, that's not really a complete, that's not really a sentence right there, a complete sentence, but, still that you would maybe write like that, just because that just to kind of get a better understanding of, yeah, you will write this until, you decide to invite somebody else in to join you to listen to your conversation, or you listen on the radio or something like that. But anyway, I'm talking about for all it depends.